On this lesson, we are going to continue working on a map view, which is a view which shows Google Maps, and we are going to add some markers on it. The map view is a bit tricky to configure at the first time, but once we have it, it will work. So it's just one time work. We had to follow these steps. Go to map view on the Android documentation, and it has a link to the developer guide, Google Maps Android V2. If you click on this developer guide, you can see some information about what is a map view, all the things that you can do with them. But click on Get Started. Okay, and we are going to start for the first thing. Okay, the first thing I will say, first make sure that on your SDK manager, make sure that whatever version you are going to use, you have the Google API for that, because that includes Google Maps on it. If you don't have it installed, you're not going to be able to create a map view. So first, start with that. Open the Android SDK manager and make sure that for the version that you are using, you have selected the Google API. Okay. So now we are ready to follow this guide. Install the Android SDK. We already have that. Download and configure the Google Play Service SDK for Android Studio. You have here all the information. So basically for Gradle, just copy this line and paste it on build.gradle, and then click on the button Ship Project with Files, and it will ask you to install this. Or another way that you can use is just go to the project structure, go to the project, to the application, and on dependencies, you can add a dependency, Maven library dependency, and you can select here the Google Play service. So select the Google Play service, remember the number of the version, click on apply, and then click in OK. Basically this is the same thing as coming to the file.gradle and copying this line here. Okay, so now I have the Google Play service on my project also. Another thing that I need is this line on my manifest with the version of the Google Play service that I'm using. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to come to the manifest and I'm going to add this here. It has to be child of the application element, so it has to be inside the application. And the value, if we remember the version, in this case 5208, okay. Okay, so this is the version. Don't worry about this, because if this value is not right, when we launch the application, we are going to get an exception and it's going to tell us which value do we need to add. Okay, so let's continue with the next step on the getting started guide. Okay, on the next step, we had to get an Android certificate and the Google Maps API key. This is like the most difficult thing that we are going to do so far. Okay, basically when you create an application, if you are going to export an application to the Play Store, we say that that application is on release mode. But when you just launch the application on your mobile, we say that the application is on debug mode. So at the moment we need a debug certificate, and for that debug certificate that should be in this folder or should be in this one on Windows, we need to obtain this value, the SHA-1 fingerprint. So for that you can use this tool. Okay, so basically for Linux or iOS, just open this on a terminal. For Windows you have here the instructions. So I'm going to open the terminal. And I'm going to copy this. Okay, and I have here my key, which is this one. So I'm going to copy this because I'm going to need it later on. And then I'm going to continue. And in the next step is where we are going to use this fingerprint. Okay, so create an IP project in the Google API console. And we have to activate Google Maps Android API 2 on that console. Okay, so if you click on this, it will load a new version of the uploaded version of Google Developer Console. So I can just create a new project. In this case, I'm going to call it course. It's just going to generate a random project ID. Okay. This is going to take some time to create the project. Open the project when it's finished. So now just click on Enable an API. We have to enable Google Maps for our project. So find here Google Maps Android API v2. Okay, we have to turn it on. This is enable Google Maps for our project. Okay, should be done. Now go to APIs. Get the API for Google Android v2. Now we need to create a new key, an Android key. Okay, and we have to paste here our fingerprint, and we have to write semicolon and the package of our application. So the package of my application at the moment is sweetapps.com example2. Okay, fine. Okay, this is very important. This key is for debug, for when we are launching our application on the emulator or for mobile. But when we are export this application to the Play Store, we will need a different fingerprint, which will be in the release certificate, not in the debug certificate. Okay. So here we have the API key. If we come back a bit, we will see where do we have to use this API key. So we need to add another metadata as a child of our application, and in this value we are going to have the API key. So come back here, add this, and now come back to the Google Developer Console and copy the API key generated for a fingerprint. Okay. So far we have all the steps. Now what we need to do is just create a MapView and launch it.